To be more forthright, in the United States, if you are an environmentalist, it is assumed that you are a Democrat. And Democrats, supposedly, are not pro-life. If you are a Republican, it is assumed that you cannot also be pro-environment. In other words, somehow environmental advocacy has been pigeonholed into a particular political profile and has become guilty by association. But, of course, Christians are first the citizens of heaven, and therefore our alliances and our value system are not defined by American politics. Rather, our value system, aka holiness, is defined by the Holy One. And as citizens of His kingdom, ultimately there is only one set of politics the Christ follower should be concerned about. A second cause of the Church's paralysis on this topic is familiar to many matters of social concern. We, the Western majority voice, are largely sheltered from the impact of environmental degradation on the global community. We don't see how unregulated use of land and water by big business decimates the lives of the marginalized. We have not witnessed the sterilization of the fertile fields of Punjab, India, at the hands of unrestrained industrial agriculture, or the social collapse that it has caused. We have not stood on the shores of the Ganges River and seen and smelled the results of the unrelenting abuse of this immense and immensely important estuary via untreated industrial waste, raw sewage, and incomplete cremations. Our front windows do not offer us a view of the lunar landscapes left behind by mountaintop removal coal mining in Appalachia, or the ragged remains of Madagascar's 88% deforestation, both of which have left the marginalized without recourse. As a result, we struggle to understand creation care as an expression of concern for the widow and the orphan. Third, and perhaps most detrimental, is the theological posture taught by many in the Church that the created order is bound only for destruction. Subsequently, many devoted followers of Jesus have come to believe that it is ethically appropriate to use the earth's resources as aggressively as possible to accomplish what really matters, the conversion of souls. The end result? The Church, particularly the evangelical wing of the Church, has inadvertently dismissed the issue of environmental stewardship as peripheral or even alien to the theological commitments of the Bible. This book is my contribution to exposing and uprooting these misconceptions that have rendered the Church silent on a critical concern. As a longtime professor of biblical studies, a professional exegete, an author, a theologian, and, most importantly, a committed Christian, my objective in this little book is to demonstrate via the most authoritative voice in the Church's life, that of Scripture, that the stewardship of this planet is not alien or peripheral to the message of the gospel. Rather, our rule of faith and praxis has a great deal to say about this subject. And what the Bible has to say is that the responsible stewardship of creation is not only an expression of the character of our God, it is the role He entrusted to those made in His image. Chapter 1. Creation as God's Blueprint. We all long for Eden, and we are constantly glimpsing it. Our whole nature at its best and least corrupted, its gentlest and most human, is still soaked with a sense of exile. J.R.R. Tolkien, The Letters of Tolkien. I gave my first public message on the issue of environmental stewardship in 2005 at Asbury Theological Seminary's Kingdom Conference. Historically, the goal of this conference has been to engage students in larger conversations regarding Christian responsibility across the globe. Standard topics have included training for effective cross-cultural communication, messages from courageous Christian cross-cultural workers, aka missionaries, organizations such as Word Made Flesh, and